Marriage is complicated.
I vomited on the spot. I was like, immediate divorce.
That's why they're here to talk about it.
And he thinks that burping is unacceptable, but farting is fine.
Nicole Pellegrino.
My thigh sweat is chafing together.
Caroline Crawford Patterson.
You're making it so difficult for me to do anything here.
Honey, we're home.
Welcome back to Honey, We're Home.
We're back. How are we feeling?
Feeling good. Cheers.
Cheers.
I guess we should always cheers. Episode 5.
Episode 5. Eye contact with the cheers. It's good luck.
Just so we can go through this together. This is also one of my grandmother's coats.
It is so cute.
So if I spill on it today, we'll all see it happen together. But wish me luck. Thank you very much.
Wage your bets now. If Caroline spills on her coat, I get $10.
Okay.
And if she doesn't, I have to scream something embarrassing in Times Square right after this.
Oh.
Yeah.
Love that.
I don't know, that just came out. Yeah, I mean, you're giving like mob wife, rich mob wife. We're both giving rich today, I would say. Well, I kind of like was jealous of you from the last episode where you looked like
with
Martha
the feather. Cindy Lou Who.
Cindy Lou Who.
You are such a good candidate to dress like Cindy Lou Who because you actually look like her.
I did last year for Halloween, for the Betches office Halloween party.
Oh, that's right.
And it was so good. We won the contest, and it was a really good costume. I'll go on my Instagram and stalk, okay?
Okay. So, I wanted to tell you guys a story about today because this is funny, but also kind of relevant. We like do this thing where when we were going through premarital counseling, our counselor was like, what are your roles going to be? Like, what are your relationship roles going to be? And we were like, our philosophy is you go where is needed. And that works for us. Like right now, John is back in the office 5 days a week. He is getting home at 8 p.m. So one thing that always ends up being me is moving things in and out of the storage unit.
You live in your storage unit. Every time I talk to Caroline, she's on her way or leaving the storage unit.
One time we went to the Knot Gala, and I literally got dressed in the storage unit before I met you.
How big is it? I'm trying to visualize. Like, how are you getting dressed in it? Does it have a mirror?
Oh no. This is terrible, but if those who know me would be like, just, this is so me. I got dressed outside of it.
Where is it?
But nobody was in there. So I was like, it's a storage unit. So you can like hear, it's in Midtown. Well, it's on 17th Street. Sorry, it's not Midtown. Duh.
Yeah, what?
It's in Chelsea. But like, it's concrete. So you can hear when people are like walking up. Like I knew no one else was on the floor. And so I was like, oh, fine. I'll just change out here. I'll do a quick change out here really quickly. Totally. Like they have cameras.
Yeah, the cameraman got a peep show.
Totally.
Yeah, you're always changing in the storage unit. I always forget you guys have one. We're actually probably going to copy if we stay in our current place. TBD. We're up in the air.
Oh, really?
I need to figure out where we're going to live and what's going to happen. There's like a lease in my inbox right now to be signed. And
for this apartment or for a new one?
For this one. It's a long story. We're trying to figure out if we should move and upsize a little or if it makes sense because the ones we've looked at we hate. It's like, it's impossible to live here.
Yeah.
And so, but if we stay in this one, we're 1,000% getting a storage unit because we didn't know our building has them. And they're...
How did you not know?
This sounds like I think I'm a billionaire, but I think they're only like $100 a month, which is
ours is more, $175, and that was a deal.
Yeah. Which is a lot for like anybody normally listening, but for New York, we're just like really warped in the head. Like we hear like
next level
$10,000 a month. That's a steal. I've gotten rid of so much.
That's exactly what I said. I said there is a certain point where like I can't justify getting rid of things for space when one day I know I'll have the space to store it.
Yes.
Like I just can't keep getting rid of things I love.
Especially after you're married.
Yeah.
You had your wedding registry.
Yeah.
I have a KitchenAid mixer I haven't touched once.
Really?
Well, it sits on top of the dryer, on top of the washer dryer. That's where it's stored. Like,
you need one.
Do? Pull it down.
It changed it totally shifted my mental health. Except getting stuff from it can be a pain. So basically it's always me. John feels bad. Like I have moved mountains I have like become the Hulk to move things into the storage unit before. And so we had to switch out our coats, and then I needed my Christmas stuff, and then I needed to move all my dresses into storage. So last night, John's like, the only time that I can help you do this is late at night. And our storage unit is usually open 24 hours a day. And so he literally takes the AC units to the storage unit, and they're like, we're closed. And there's a guy there who's not supposed to be there. He's like, well, I'm not supposed to be here. And John's like, well, then why are you here? And I called them and I was like, it's supposed to be 24-hour access. Can you help my husband get in? I'm like, this is literally the only time he can help me. Like, this is all the like go where it's needed. And it's like, I'm literally trying to do all of this right now. And I just need a snippet of freaking help. And so the guy finally lets him in, and he leaves all the stuff on the first level so that I have to come get it in the morning with all this other stuff that I have to move. And so John doesn't even get into the unit. So now I have to get all the Christmas boxes, which are broken and weigh 1,000,000 pounds, and all the coats. John says something sketchy is going on at this unit. Also because they changed the rules to like not let people in anymore whenever. And I get our stuff this morning. I go to the storage unit. I have the rest of the stuff. I'm sweating. I'm tired. I go to the front desk. I'm like, my husband left stuff down here last night that I need to take up to the unit. On top of it, he then wrote, not John, the guy that was not supposed to be there but still working late, that was not a manager.
Who is this man?
He wasn't getting overtime. He'd already clocked out but was still there. He just wanted John to go away. He puts this orange sticky note on it, and it says, do not touch, ! Seriously, underline. I was like, yeah, no. I was like, you guys are taking stuff. He was staying late to like take stuff.
Sketchy.
They're totally stealing.
You can't trust anybody in this city.
At all.
You really can't.
But that's what I spend my whole day doing, is like moving stuff.
You're the man of the relationship.
And this is when I don't like having normal, like not having the normal roles, because I'm like, literally, like you don't, like the box is so big that my arms don't fit around it. It's not even like it's too heavy. I mean, it is.
Workout in.
Yeah. Well, I couldn't even bring one of the boxes up. You couldn't do it. I can't.
This is crazy because this is a dual task. This is where like you utilize having a significant other to 100% like this.
Instead, I'm just tipping Uber drivers like an obscene amount of money.
Yeah. Oh God, you gotta get an Uber. You're not schlepping down the streets with a box.
No, but I need them to help me carry stuff.
Yeah, like come out and help me.
Yeah. Because we're in the city, people are honking, they want to go, and I'm like,
that's a lot. Well, I'm glad you got your Christmas decor. I can't wait to see the tree.
My tree is so cute.
Our Christmas decorations are all at our in-laws in South Jersey. We're like, when are we
you're not
supposed
gonna
to
get
go
them
and
this
get
year?
them? And I'm gone for a week in Florida starting next week. Like, Mike's all over the place. We're just literally, and Mike is like you. Again, another reason. You guys will find out, Caroline and Mike, I'm married to Caroline and Manfred.
Yeah.
So Mike, like if it were up to me, I'm fine with the Rockefeller tree. I'm fine walking around and seeing decorations. When we have kids, whole different story. I'm going to deck the halls with bells of holly. Yeah. But when, like right now, between me, Mike, and Louie, I'm like, do I need my house to be decked out? No. I wish if my apartment was less cluttery and cleaner, I would feel different. Like if I had a bigger space with like more. But right now I'm just like so over my apartment. I need to like redo the whole thing, get a storage unit, declutter, etc. So I'm like, I don't need Christmas decorations right now. But Mike really wants them, and he like gets mad at me if I don't make the holidays festive enough. He doesn't actually.
This sounds exactly like the semi-argument I had with John last night.
Men put a lot of pressure on us to get them in the holiday spirit.
Opposite though, because I literally was like, John's like, we have to be flexible, and I was like, next week we're doing a holiday episode. You'll hear all about splitting the holidays, and I'm gonna like save the majority of this information for them. But I'm like, I have been so flexible this holiday season. Our lives recently have been a series of unfortunate events in a way that it just absolutely has to be comical. Right. And I'm like, Christmas has to be joyful. It has to be like, I draw the line. I want the expensive tree that touches my ceiling that I have no room for. I don't care.
We actually have no room for a tree, but whatever.
But all that to say, living in New York like is hard, yes. But I ran into this woman.
Oh, the French woman. I need the story.
I ran into this French woman yesterday, and she was so cute. And she was like, what is your podcast about? And I was telling her, and she got so excited. She told me that she moved from France to Manhattan in the 80s and then raised 3 kids here living in Soho. And none of them moved away until they were like basically grown. I think maybe only her youngest daughter, who's 31, moved away.
Oh, wow.
So I was asking her all of these questions.
Yeah.
Because I was like, this is kind of how we feel trying to make friends in the city when like there are almost like a plethora of friends that you can make, so nothing's ever good enough for somebody, like instead of having close friendships.
I don't have a problem making friends in the city, which we'll talk about, but I want to have the conversation of like raising kids in the city.
Yeah.
Like the French woman, because and sorry if this doesn't apply to everybody. I know some of you definitely live in the suburbs and honestly kind of gel of that, but like, and we could talk about that too. And, but I think like, I don't know about you guys. I get the question quite literally once a day of, where are you and Mike going to settle? And I coil into a little ball and it gives me such anxiety.
Stop asking that question.
No, literally stop asking people where they're going to settle.
Because this could be where I settle. So just, you don't know.
I don't think more than 5 minutes in advance for anything. I need to do more future thinking. But when I do, it stresses me out, especially when you live up here and you have a career up here. And it's hard to visualize living away from the city right now.
Yeah.
I already live in Hoboken. That's my compromise. For those of you, just quick context, if it were up to Mike, we would live in a farm in the middle of nowhere. Yeah. Not actually. We would live in like Annapolis, Maryland, or like, I don't know. That's like really all. Oh, he would love to live in Philly. I told him never.
Well, that's
Sorry,
what I put this on our outline today. I was like, what? There is always a partner that's like more ready to go into the city. The suburban life.
Yeah.
Than the other partner, because the traditional way that like entering into a family, whether it be a marriage or kids, looks
is a house.
Yeah.
But that's why I like meeting people like your French woman.
Yeah.
And we have to have Christy Party of 6 on. If any of you follow her, I met her at this influencer thing. She's so sweet, so cool. Raises 4 kids in the city. And like has a thriving life, spends $1 trillion a day. Like, I'm sure her husband.
Oh yeah, they do that. Yeah.
But that's the thing. To raise a kid in the city, you have to be loaded rich, which I feel like we're not yet.
No.
You have to be yet.
No,
we're working.
We're not.
We're trying. You have to be loaded rich or like do really well. I don't know. We were talking the other day about how like even if you make really good money here, you still feel poor. You have to be rich. You have to do it like. To do it comfortably. Like people who are all different income levels raise kids in the city, but to do it like comfortably, oh my God, I can't speak. No. Comfortably, you have to be rich. The thing is like the space. Like I look at my apartment, I know I have nephews. When I'm at their house, my sister has a huge 5-bedroom house and still has clutter from the kids, the toys. The stroller alone would take up my entire apartment.
Yeah.
Like the space of it all. A car. People don't realize a car. Like, what if an emergency happens and you have to strap a kid in a car seat into the car and get him to the hospital? Like,
yeah, because you have to call a specific. They make specific things in taxis and Ubers for car seats, but you have to
provide the car seat.
Yeah, you have to buy it.
Buckle it into the car.
Yeah,
it's like an Uber pet. Like we'll do that with Louis. But
easier. But they need like Uber babies where they have the like car seats.
It's just like there's so many downsides to kids in the city. So people like the French woman and Christy Party of 6 are keeping me going.
Same. But she said to me, the one thing that she said that I really thought was great, because I was like, the one thing that maybe would switch after kids is like, I always say to people like in the city, you could be alone a lot, but like never lonely. And that works for me because I like my alone time, but I'm constantly around a million other people hitting the pavement doing things as well. So I don't feel like.
I feel like you can feel lonely in the city.
You can 100%, but like for someone that like spends a lot of their day alone, like when I was in Charlotte spending my day alone, I felt significantly more lonely because like I'm not around anybody.
Right.
And in New York, you have every opportunity to just like be around humans.
And it's easy to get to humans quickly that you know. Yeah. Like we can see each other in 20 minutes.
Absolutely. Yeah. But then when you have a baby, you need that sense of community. And that's why people like love the idea of a neighborhood or things like that. And in New York, especially being married in your 20s and maybe where the trajectory is like you have a baby at 40 here. Like if we had a baby in our early 30s, we're not really surrounded by a lot of other women on that same path or that we're at least like in intimate relationships with.
Yeah.
So like
true.
the sense of community in that togetherness, she was like, that is the most important thing to find. She was like, I had that. I went out and got it. I had an incredible time raising my babies in the city. My friends that didn't nurture those friendships and like didn't go out and find those friendships of women that were in their phase of life, she said they all experienced significant more postpartum depression.
I've heard the community aspect is so important. I've heard though you do like it's through the kids' schools that like you really, but before they get to school, I mean that's a good point. You have to find other women, preferably around your age, who are going through the same phase of life that are in your area.
Yeah.
Like, I know just having, like, Hoboken, that's why we do love Hoboken, because it really is, like, young parents, young professionals, especially uptown where we are, and our neighbors. We've made best friends with all of our neighbors through the dog park, through Louis, through the dogs are all best friends. And even just having a dog, that sense of, like, quite literally, our neighbors educate us so much on the littlest things with the dogs.
Yeah.
Like, save our life every day because of just things about the dogs and tell us which daycares to go to. So
that's
it's like
community.
It's literally like a kid times 10 with, or I mean, sorry. A kid would be times 10 than the dog. But yeah, I mean, that community is so important. Like, you need that.
But yeah.
So yeah, I like, what do? Join a Facebook group? I don't know. Listen to this podcast when we're going through that.
Maybe
Facebook
she'll
life?
listen to this and message me and tell me what to do.
Yeah.
Maybe she'll tell us what to do.
I mean, and one thing growing up, like you said, the neighborhood aspect, my favorite memories from childhood are being really good friends with all of our neighbors. I grew up in Florida till I was 11, moved to Maryland at that age. Every neighborhood we ever lived in, we even jumped around while we were in each state. Every neighborhood I ever lived in, my parents were best friends with all the neighbors before they got divorced. And still they were friends with the neighbors after. But
yeah, same.
We were best friends with all the neighbors.
It was
every
like the cul-de-sac
was
crew.
Parties. The kids were best friends, parents best friends, and those are my best favorite memories. And I better have that for my children. So I'm just going to go door to door and be like, be my friend.
I think you can still get it in the city. And then I also think it's like part of the settle down question that really irks me is like, I'm not even pregnant. I'm not even trying to get pregnant. So it's like, I don't know what could happen. Like I could live in Paris in 2 years, or like John could not want to leave his job here, or he could get this job that takes him like bi-coastal. Like we could live in 2 places at once. Like I don't really know. Like
like stop asking us
whatever
when
it
we
looks
wanna
like, I'll
settle.
figure it out.
Right. And I don't like the notion of being tied down anywhere. Like I don't like the question, where do you want to settle? I'm like, what does that mean? Even if we did buy a house next year somewhere in the burbs, I don't think that's going to be my forever home. Like,
no,
we're so young. We don't have enough money to afford our forever home yet. Like, I ain't settling anywhere. And I guess maybe it's because I was raised not settling, and we did huge moves throughout my childhood.
Same,
but I
don't think that's it. I think that it's because first people were told to stop asking the question, when are you going to get married? When are you going to get married? Yeah. Because it's like, why are you assuming that that's number one priority? Then it's like, you have to educate people not to say, when are you going to have a baby? When are you going to have a baby? Because again, stop assuming that once you get married that that's number one priority. Right. So I think people are comfortable saying this, like, where are you going to settle? Where are you going to settle? To someone that maybe lives in a big city, because to them living in a big city is equivalent to, they're having exploratory years.
Yes.
Or like they're having fun right now. Or like they're just being a young married couple. Like they're taking a few years to do their own thing. Like, no, I do want a family. I want a whole pack of kids.
Caroline wants like 17 kids.
I want 4. And then the other day I texted John across the table and I was like, had a vision that we had 5 kids.
No, you're upping it. Okay, I want
I just had a vision.
But the psychic told, I referenced this psychic, I
She
had
told you
one
before,
session,
right?
No, I had one session with this psychic and it's completely consumed my life ever since. She told me definite 2.
Okay.
The 3rd is a maybe. I go, what the fuck does that mean? She goes, the 3rd is going to be more of like a
She said that so that you would
decision.
come back to her.
Yeah.
She
yeah.
totally
I
did,
don't know
because
if
that's going to live in your head.
Well, she goes, the exact words were like, the 3rd is kind of a glitch right now. I go, what? My kid's a glitch? The fuck? So, I mean.
Oh, God.
We don't know. She meant, then she goes, what I mean by that is it's more of like,
Are you gonna name-
it's going to be a decision. And I was like, okay, I hope every kid is going to be a decision. One of the first 2 just going to be accidents. Like.
Maybe you should
So-
name it Glitch.
Glitchy.
There's a movie called Glitch, right? It's
I don't
cute. It's like an
know.
animated movie. But I don't like the
idea.
assumptions. Like, I don't see myself reaching my like pinnacle of my career probably ever. I've always said this
Right.
about myself. Like,
Always going to want more.
why would you want to, you know, the Joker, like they peaked in high school? Mm-hmm. Sorry, like, I'm
peaked
sorry
in
for
college.
you. No, you didn't. You haven't peaked yet. Why would you want,
I love that.
how is that a compliment?
The best
You
is yet
peaked
to
before
come.
you even started?
Yeah. My friends and I joke around that like we peaked in high school and college, but
Yeah.
that's like an internal joke.
Right.
But
in reality, like,
Yeah,
you're going
no.
to continue to move.
Yeah.
You're going to continue to build a career. You're going to continue to do these things. And it is just, it's not insulting. It's just really annoying and like small minded when people just keep saying, like, so when are you going to stop like flouncing around and settle?
yeah. The exploratory years thing is so they're having their fun in the city. It's like, bitch, no, my fun in the city is my life.
There
my
are-
future.
Yeah. Yes.
Penthouse.
Like our French woman
Townhouse in
raising
West
3 kids.
Village.
And for what it's worth, she raised them in Soho. So
Yeah,
like,
that's wild. Wonder what her husband.
she wasn't like, she's right in the middle of things, probably doing really well for herself. She's not married. She like
Question,
has a
though.
boyfriend that she just travels around the world with.
Question though, because Mike and I get really stressed out. This is a point of contention in our relationship. He's very like ready for the suburbs. Like
Yeah.
and his job, he's fortunate to be able, well, he's doing a switch in his job right now, which actually is gonna, for like the next year or so, definitely gonna require him to be like closer to the city. Thank God. Woo! But
I
bought
said
me
Nicole
some more
Street,
time.
easy listenings in the city all the time.
He's gonna be like near in the city a lot more, I think. But I don't know. But in the future, he definitely could, if he stays where he is at this job. Who knows? He definitely could work remote. Me, we record in the city. Hello, like
Yeah.
and technically, yes, could I in the next couple years be remote? Yeah, like of course. But
Yeah.
I don't know. I see visions for myself needing to be near the city still. But he just wants a house so bad. And don't get me wrong, it's not like I want a
male
tiny
thing.
little musty, dusty apartment. Like I want a house, I want space, I want nice things.
Yeah.
I want a driveway, I want a yard for Louis desperately at some point. But I mean, we've just faced like this tension like
Yeah.
for a while, and I always win, obviously, because we're still here. But I don't know. I guess it is all about compromise, which is why we're in Hoboken.
We have
That's
this
the
conversation all the time.
compromise.
Yeah.
Like-
That is actually the compromise.
It really is. Like we do street parking. It's super affordable. Like
Yeah.
we have our car. That is the compromise.
That's the
Hoboken
compromise.
is the suburbs.
It is the men though.
Yeah, the men always won.
I know that, I guess it maybe not always, but like for us, it's the men. And I think it's funny because I think that there is this internal part of men that like has this expectation of what marriage and family is. It's very traditional.
Yeah.
And they're not outwardly being like, I expect this of you and I expect this of you.
But it
But
comes
every so
out.
often it comes out. And you're like, have you ever thought about why, you know, that's like so important to you? But at the same time, like they're really focused on building their careers. Like John is and Mike is like they're head in, feet in, their
Right.
whole body in on their careers. And it's like late hours and, you know, a lot of stress. So it's like they want both of those things at the same time. And I think it's funny to me because I'm like,
How are you going
That's-
to have both? Let's be logical.
you're not. They're leaning into the traditional aspect of it.
And I think part of the compromising is saying like, well, we both kind of agree on the fact that like we got to let our jobs kind of decide. Like if like jobs kind of come and family too. Like we're going to make sure. I would never be like, I'm not going to have a family because my job. No. Family, I've always wanted to be a mom. It's happening. But I think we let the jobs lead. Like if he or I got our dream job in Miami, would we move? Yeah. If one of us like got an absolute dream wherever, we would move for that. If, you know, like, but we're not just
That's the point of why you don't ask people where you're going to settle.
Right.
I'm not 80. Like, don't ask me where I'm going to go retire.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Where are you going to retire? Guys,
what retirement home do you find yourself getting
slide into her DMs.
Where are you going to retire?
Okay, let's move on from this.
Yeah.
Because time is of the essence.
Time is of the essence. But it is a really good just topic of discussion.
And I'm glad we did. So write in your thoughts on this because I'm sure you have them.
Hard. It goes, it's hard to be on the same page at the same time sometimes.
It very much is.
So in the first episode, we had a conversation about the concept of one person loving the other person more. So somebody wrote in who is a marriage therapist. And so this isn't even really a conversation. I just read the email and I thought it was really interesting. So I thought we should share it because we all had this conversation together. Mm-hmm. And she's like kind of our age, I think, or
does she want to come on? We need a marriage therapist.
Okay, so she said, I'm actually a marriage relationship therapist too. So I thought your conversation about who loves who more was really interesting. I feel like from my observation, like in her line of work, it's not necessarily a specific gender consistently. And I think it can also be hard to tell sometimes due to differences in attachment style. I thought that was really cool. Mm-hmm. Like the less emotional partner may show it in a different way than the more emotional partner because their attachment needs are a bit different.
That is interesting.
I thought about that and it really added up to what we both said.
Yeah. Like you think it outwardly it may look like one of you loves the other person more, but in reality they're just showing it in a more overt way.
Yeah.
What are the attachment styles? Anxious?
Yeah, I'd love to know.
I don't know why I know
is
that.
dependent one?
Yeah, on both of those.
Yeah,
I'm so dependent and anxious.
Yeah, I'm same. And I also think trauma probably plays into it a little bit, like certain fears. I also think probably personality type plays into it. And I know we're not really supposed to judge stuff off of this anymore, but like love languages.
Why are we not supposed to judge off of it?
Something about how it's just like not comprehensive of like how people behave.
I've been obsessed with the love languages recently. Yeah. I'm like 12 years behind when it comes to relationship stuff. Great. Good thing I'm hosting a podcast about relationships. But the love languages at my birthday dinner with all of our friends, I made everybody go around and say what they like most about me.
Really?
And also their love language.
That's awesome.
Because I'm fascinated in it. But I believe what you say with it because at the end of the day, I'm like, okay, these are cool. Like I definitely show more, need more, whatever. Of certain ones, but at the end of the day, I'll also just need all of them. So, like, what's the point?
Everybody needs all of them. They also switch. When we were in college, this was like the love languages was a big thing. John and I took the test. And then, like, 3 years later, we retook the test. And mine were his and his were mine. They switched with each other because you start to behave in a way that your partner feels love, which in time, I think, creates this idea that that's how love looks. And so now you start to receive it best in that way as well because it's how you're giving it. Yeah. And vice versa. Mm-hmm.
That's so interesting, though. I want to know more about the attachment styles.
Yeah. But it's very interesting because if yours is touch right now, but Mike's is quality time, then it feels like Mike
really good memory.
Then it feels like Mike wants
quality time.
Right. So you're like, oh, he loves
none of it.
He's like loving more right now, but like not even.
No, and I've gotten better at that, being like, we need to actually like dedicated spend time together. That's like doing something fun together, not just like existing in the apartment. Not like like us working from home literally to me counts as zero quality time.
Me too.
We sit in opposite rooms and butts in seats all day. It's like exhausting. I'm like, this might as well be in the office.
Literally. John would be like, well, I worked from home this day. I'm like, and
what?
Conversation stops right there.
Jay Shetty said, did I say this on a past episode? Sorry, I haven't done it. Whatever. Jay Shetty on one of his episodes said that watching Netflix together, watching TV together is not hanging out.
Oh, you did say that, and I love it. And I love to weaponize it. Mm-hmm. It's one of my favorite activities. Doesn't count.
If Mike's ever like, oh, let's go see a movie together, like as a date night, I'm like, okay, we can, but this doesn't count as a date night. Fun fact. It was us sitting next to each other, watching a screen, no matter where we are, does not count as a date night.
This is just girls helping girls right here.
It really is. So next time your husbands or whatever you have, try to plan that as a date night.
Yeah.
Can I talk? Date night? Lots of emails here. We're just going to like pick a couple.
Yeah.
Okay.
You read the next one.
Okay, the boyfriend one.
Yeah. Oh, I love this one.
I've recently started dating my boyfriend, and he's made it so clear he's sure he's going to marry me. I feel that he will be my husband as well, but now I'm freaking out because I don't have everything together like I thought before meeting my person. I'm also just an overthinker. When did you realize your husband was your person, and did it change any timeline you had in your mind?
First of all, I knew way before John knew. So I know there's this thing about like the guys know within 6 months. I don't know if that just applies to like grown adult men, but 19-year-old boys in college, it doesn't apply to. I can 100% tell you that.
No.
I knew before John. I knew though, because John broke his neck. And when he was playing like during a game, and it was our 1-year anniversary, and I think this is so funny because we even broke up after that for like 6 months or whatever. And that was why.
After your 1 year?
Yeah, like 2 years in, we broke up for 6 months for things that we had to work through, and fine, but it made it very confusing for me because I was like, I've already like had this feeling that this is my person, and my friends were like, we feel like this is your person and you're breaking up, and it just didn't make sense. But when he broke his neck, I just had this feeling that I was like, this is who I want to be with forever. And it was actually like, it was emotional and logical because there was a chance that he would have been paralyzed. And so it's like, I didn't know until he came out of surgery if he was paralyzed or not.
Oh, wow. You got the universe gave you like the ultimate test.
So when I was sitting there, it was like, I really did. I was like, there's an obvious question. You've been dating this guy for a year. You're in college. Mm-hmm. Do you stay with the guy or not if they're paralyzed? Like, not like, now you can no longer move. But here's the thing. That's a huge injury. It's already a lot to recover from and to take care of. And I knew that I was going to be the caretaker at that point because we were in college together. Mm-hmm. And like, do I see a future with him or not? And the guilt aspect of if I had said no to that aside, because that was another question, which was like, if I didn't think yes, like there's a lot of guilt that comes with admitting that you don't want to be.
That's like a moral debate, internal moral, but like you wouldn't be a bad person for being like no.
In itself. However, I didn't even literally, like, it was one of those things where like it was like, this is something you should think, and I was like, hands down, he's the one. Like I was like, even if he's paralyzed, doesn't move, like it was like a God thing for me where I was like, this is the guy. And so I knew before him. And he knows that, you know.
Did he know and just not like communicate it to you?
No, John's like you.
Mike might have done.
Yeah, but John's like you, where like you take literally an extra 1,000 years to make a decision.
Yeah. Bingo.
But the second you make it, you're like, okay, so now let's like do it right now.
Yeah, you're into it.
And I'm like, just because I knew didn't mean I wanted to marry him the next day.
Right.
So when we had the conversation where he was like, we went ring shopping, I had a meltdown after because I was like, I want to marry him, but then all of a sudden I felt not ready. Like immediately I was like,
how old were you guys when you went ring?
Oh, so young. I had to be 24. Or 25
That's
maybe.
Young.
Super young. But we've been together for 5-6 years already.
Yeah, but I'm trying to think how old I was when we started talking about rings.
Yeah.
Like 26.
So in retrospect, it's young. At the time, it didn't feel that way. And like if any of my sisters tried to get married that young now, I'd pop them.
Yeah.
Like I would go maternal and be like, stop it right now.
Yeah, no,
you're a literal child.
Baby.
But I did have this moment where I was like scared to get engaged because it was like, is this going to change my life? Is my life in a place where I'm ready to get married? It doesn't, like what we said last episode, my life didn't look like what I thought it would look like yet when I got engaged.
Right. Like that's how she's feeling.
And I had to pull back. even though I knew I wanted to marry him.
Yeah. I am really trying to think back. I didn't have that, like, now thinking back, I guess, like, I would feel the same way. Like, my life definitely didn't look like how I wanted it to. I don't really think I had that much of a vision for my life, though, to be like, like, now that I'm thinking about it, I'm like, what was my life vision? I don't know. I guess my expectations were like
To peak in college.
nothing. Yeah, I don't know what the fuck. I swear. I think like the fact that I don't sleep every night like makes me not have a memory. But
You've got to hang out with Ashlyn more because you guys both don't sleep, and it's just like
Ashlyn, who?
my friend that was here for bridal fashion.
Oh yeah,
You guys-
it causes memory loss, and I can't remember.
No, it's
anything
actually
from my past.
hilarious.
But maybe it's trauma. I don't know. But I'm trying to think because. I mean, okay, to answer her question, I feel like that's like if you take my approach and just like don't have a vision for your life and you'll be where you want to be, honestly. So do that because like, yeah, I mean, looking back, I remember we were not financially ready to like actually now I remember I was like, how is he even affording a ring? He had like a bunch of stock that he like had since he was a baby and like pulled that out.
Oh, smart.
So yeah, we definitely, now that I'm thinking, probably weren't ready to like get engaged financially. Probably wasn't like the smartest decision. Yeah, I know he spent like every dollar he had on the ring, and I was like,
same.
fuck, oh well.
But that's not really important.
Yeah,
I mean, well, no, not
Yeah.
that the ring's not important. I mean,
No,
the
the
ring's very important.
yeah,
Like, extremely.
yeah,
That's not what I'm trying to
yeah,
say.
like spend a lot.
Yeah,
Sounds
literally.
so bad.
I'm not trying to say the
Come
ring's
for
not
me.
important. Anybody that wants to clip that and send it and use it as proof, and I'm talking about the male species, do not do that. That's not what I mean.
Yeah.
I mean, like, being in the right financial place
Oh,
isn't
yeah.
actually that important.
No.
I think it just freaks some people out more.
I mean, when we got engaged, we were living in the teensiest little apartment in Brooklyn. And I remember both of us were on the same page about getting engaged like that year. I thought it was going to happen in the fall, in November. It happened in May. He did it way earlier than I thought, which was a nice
Dope.
little
Yeah.
surprise. I wasn't going to fight back. Like,
Yeah, God, no.
but, I mean, yeah. And then as for knowing he was the one, I knew it long before that. Like,
Yeah.
I knew it. I wouldn't say, it wasn't like the movies where like right away I spotted him and
Yeah.
and he was the one and my heart fluttered. Like, no, Mike and I were actually like, oh no, I've told the story. You don't need the story. Long story short, I had like a full roster and Mike was pursuing me, and then I like ditched all the others for him.
Right.
So yeah.
Well, you also knocked that girl over with your ass in musical chairs.
We've heard that. Go to Marin's podcast to listen, or the first episode.
The first
I told that
episode you
story. Yeah, I mean, so as for knowing when I was gonna marry, I think my answer for this is like when we moved in together. That was like to me, when you move in together, that's a step. And I know couples move out all the time. Like that,
Yeah.
they move out and break up all the time. But like for me, I was like, I'm not going to move in with a guy unless I see myself with him in the future.
Yeah.
So when Mike and I moved in together, I was like, that's when I feel ready, I think.
I like that, which reminds me that in the first episode we said we need to do an episode about living the difference after you get married when you hadn't lived with your significant other versus having, because we both,
Oh, yeah, because you didn't.
because I didn't. So we'll have to write that down.
Which is wild to me.
But I like that. But I do think for her, it's normal to like have a freak out moment. It's not about your partner. What I always say is like, just let yourself freak out then.
Yeah.
It just doesn't.
Yeah. Let
it
yourself
just
freak out.
I let myself freak out, and then I was like, because I let myself freak out, I let myself get to what you like to say, which is like the why of why I was
Yeah.
freaking out. And ultimately, the why had absolutely nothing to do with John.
Well, and when you get down to the why too, it's like, do I love this man or person? Yes. Do I want to be with them for the rest of my life? Yes. Then fucking do it. Then be okay with it. Like, no matter where you are in life.
No.
Again, I was in a teen seat. We could barely move. I have a photo of like the week before I got engaged of like the ground was covered in clothes. Shocker. It was, I just look, I didn't even have the money to like upkeep myself.
I didn't either. Okay, my jeans are like literally suffocating me in areas they shouldn't be, so I'm moving.
You would just, I know I'm schwitzing over here.
Oh, okay.
Do we do like one more quick email
Yes.
and then our game. Or no,
Yeah.
listener ick of the week. I want this one.
So we're going to read you a man's ick of the week that we think.
I have some thoughts about.
Okay. You want to read it or you want me to read it?
You.
Okay. No shade to the girl that sent it because I think she's like funny and
Yeah,
I love a girl
her.
that just is like, yeah, this happened. Like,
I love her
there's nothing
so
wrong
much.
with.
Honestly, come on the podcast.
Really, seriously. She goes, a fun ick my boyfriend had for me that came up recently I thought you might enjoy. We were at an interactive comedy dinner show thing called Batsu in NYC.
Which, by
Oh
the way,
my
I want to
God.
go to so bad. Mike and I always talk about it and never book it.
I passed Batsu last night and I said, oh, haven't we talked about this, John? And he's like, no. And now
we
I'm
need
like,
to
no, I
go.
read it.
Let's do it next week.
Okay, let's do that. Okay. Great double date would recommend. Oh, thank you for the rec. And the performers asked for recommendations for a scene, game, and I, along with other audience members. And of course, that would be Nicole as well. Called one out. Nicole would get up on stage. It wasn't picked. And I moved on. And a few other times they asked for ideas. And again, she gave one. Later that night at his apartment, many soju shots later, sounds delicious, my boyfriend just came out and said that yelling things out, even when they are asking, gave him the major ick. I wasn't yelling over people or continuing to yell my idea over and over again, but I guess it was still an ick to him. I know you're really going to be livid about this.
Here's the thing.
It's
I've
an
done
interactive
improv.
audience member.
I'm an improviser, okay? I've literally done improv back before COVID. I was like on an improv little team and everything. It was a whole thing. I did UCB.
What does that mean? What does that mean?
Upright Citizens Brigade, the big like improv theater. I took all the classes there, did all the levels. I'm a comedy
You're so
girly.
cool.
You knew that. It was like my therapy.
I
after
didn't know
my
that's
mom
what it was
died.
called.
UCB, yeah.
Yeah.
And then it closed down because COVID. Now
The
it's back
acronym
open.
is
I
really
need to get back
official.
involved.
You might as well be in SAG.
Yeah, right. I like am. No, but it was like the
Okay,
time
sorry.
of my life. It was literally my therapy after my mom died to like do the classes. My self-diagnosed therapy. So when performers ask for a suggestion from the audience, you want a suggestion from the audience. You don't want a heckler. You don't want somebody screaming out of line and yelling as you're performing or whatever, which she claims she wasn't, so I believe her. But you want participation. You're asking for it.
Yeah.
That sounds like a fun, engaged audience member.
Sounds like
She's
someone you would
having
want to go to
fun.
Batsu with.
Yeah, she's having fun, doing as she's supposed to do there. Why is that an ick? And I think the thing about an ick, it can't be something that's going to like make someone super self-conscious about their behavior.
Yeah.
And this is her just having fun. So like, let's not squash girls like using a voice and having fun.
Yeah, my ick this week definitely makes people self-conscious about their behavior.
It's fine.
That's what I took from this. Is I was like, men are just as unhinged. So I really don't want to hear one more comment about our icks, people thinking that we hate our husbands, because clearly it works both ways.
I mean, if she was obnoxious and unhinged,
Yeah.
that would be an ick, but it doesn't sound like she was.
He sounds like just a little bit lame.
Yeah, like like you're squashing my fun, buzzkill.
I think it would be different if you're like, because I actually get this, like if you were like, it embarrasses me. Not they embarrassed you, but if you like get flustered, if like the performers turn the attention to you, like if you get like anxiety about that, then I could understand him being like, oh, you like calling it out made me really nervous that they were gonna like put the spotlight to us and I don't want to be heckled on or
That's
whatever.
understandable.
But I think the ick is like a turnoff, obviously. So it's like, that's so different.
In a relationship, unless you really need to tell the other person this and unless you really feel like it's necessary, don't ever tell the other person that they're embarrassing you. Ever.
Yeah.
That's like, I'm angry.
Yeah.
I guess it's just
like
not
you
the
said,
type
unless
of
it's
guy-
extremely necessary.
Yeah, like unless I don't know, unless the person's being crazy. But like, don't. My new motto in life is like, life's too short to be embarrassed. Don't get embarrassed. Just
Don't get embarrassed. And also, like, I have been in one situation where I was like, John, that was embarrassing. And I told him after the fact.
What could John have done?
He was super drunk.
Oh, well, that's
But it was at our engagement party. So there were like lots of adults around. And then afterwards he was like, well, I learned what not to do at the wedding.
Yeah, that's
But
good learning.
I
but
have
if
to tell-
somebody's just being themselves,
Yeah, I
let
mean,
them be.
Right. And that was terrible. And But like the thing is that I wasn't embarrassed of him. I was like, the behavior was embarrassing because like we had all of our aunts and uncles there.
Yeah.
But then simultaneously
alone, being too drunk is like sloppy and embarrassing.
But it's
We've all
also
been
like,
there.
don't be with someone that's going to embarrass you, because for me in that situation, like John didn't like go get too drunk. My mom was following me around all night, and anytime it was our engagement party, so people were buying us shots.
Mm-hmm.
My mom like didn't see me eat, so she didn't want me taking shots. So someone would hand me a shot, and she would go, "I'll take that, thank you." And then she would turn around and go,
need her.
"Here, John." And she made him.
It was her.
She downed him in shots. And so we were both getting him. So for every shot we got gifted, he took 2.
Yeah.
So then
Took one
he
for the
just was,
team.
he was gone. And I didn't know, I didn't see this happen. I didn't know my mom was giving them to him after she took them away from me.
Yeah.
And so it was like, it's not really your fault, but also like, you can't do that.
You gotta say no. But
Because
yeah.
then it's like, people are like, oh no, like John's, is John gonna like be sick? And you're like, because you're like, I promise this has never happened before.
Yeah, no. And it's his own thing. Like, he gets a slip up. What, John could, like, kill somebody, and I'd be like, honestly, he
didn't intentionally do something. Like, he's not rude.
Yeah.
He's not a drunk.
No.
He's
We've
not like,
all been, like, I literally had to, like, one time, like, hoist Mike's body out of a trash can from throwing him.
yeah. And
We've all been there.
We've all been there. If someone
He's had to definitely do that to me.
But if someone can embarrass you that easily, then they're probably not your person.
Yeah. Like, beware. I don't know. I don't want to tell you to, like, dump his ass
No.
based off this.
No. Yeah, because like,
But, yeah, I don't know. You're in the right. He's in the wrong. No, she was just sharing a harmless ick, and I'm like,
yeah, no.
you're right.
We don't really know the full story.
Triggered.
But our point is that that is more of like a,
Yeah.
I don't know what it is.
Do we want to do our icks?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll go first.
Yeah, you go first.
Mine is, this is so me. My ick of the week is that Mike needs closet space in our closet, and that he needs drawer space. I decided,
Is this why
men-
you came up with the storage unit idea?
no, I've thought this for a while.
Okay.
Men shouldn't like really need that much space. And if you're needing like, well, I take up way more, let's get real. This is completely an irrational ick, so like don't take this with a grain of salt. If you need equal amount of storage space to me, or even like close to equal,
Yeah.
something's wrong. Why do you have that
Absolutely.
much clothes?
No, absolutely.
You shouldn't. Like, closets are for the girls. Drawers are for the girls. Always let me have more. One time he, like, said something and he was like, well, you... Like, I forget. We were arguing. And he was like, well, you take up, like, way more of the drawers in the dressers than I do. And I just was like, yeah, I'm a woman.
For obvious
Period.
reasons.
Yeah. And he doesn't, Mike's very good about, like, literally, I have 8 drawers, he has 2. But, like, I should have 9, he should have 1. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I just,
Men's clothes and closets have a Mary Poppins effect. They just disappear. A lot can fit in a little space. I feel like we're always buying John clothes.
yeah. Mike needs
He
to
needs
get rid.
25% of the space that I need. Mm-hmm. I don't feel that he's not well dressed or doesn't have the proper amount of clothing.
Yeah.
For some reason, I just think it takes up less space.
It does. It should. I just think men shouldn't need as much space. And that's my ick. But
When
the
I was in
fact
my-
that they even need space for their clothes is my ick.
When I was in my beloved storage unit today, I was literally elbowing John's clothes to the end of the rack, and they take up this much space, and our rack is 7 feet long, and the rack is full.
Our clothes are bulkier.
Sorry, I have dresses.
Dress. Yeah.
You have like 6 suits.
Yeah. Okay, what's your ick?
Okay, my ick is hearing people chew in general. This is a disease, and to prove it, because I just feel
They
the
talk
need
about
to.
it on Armchair Expert. They always talk about it.
It's called Misophonia. My friend Sammy in college, she was a psychology major. We were studying one day and she was like, oh my God, Caroline. She like came across this page that was like about misophonia. Misophonia.
I don't know.
And she was like, this is what you have. It's a legit disease. And it is hereditary. Like my mom has it. All of her sisters have it. Her mom had it. Me and all my sisters have it. So to be John in my household must be extremely treacherous.
I chew like a horse, so I can never eat.
I've never heard you chew. We have to eat with the TV on, though. I did ask Alexa today for backup. I was like, can you please explain misophonia to me? So she was like, Alexa said to me, this is a neurological disorder in which a traumatic experience, such as anger or disgust, is triggered by certain sounds, aka people eating.
Anger or disgust.
So here's the thing. This is like a little personal. There are some members in John's family that they eat really loud.
Who?
Extremely.
The brothers?
No.
The mom?
Parents.
Do they listen?
Well, John also has started to eat louder with time.
Oh, it's gonna...
And I am extremely nervous for my future.
This is a disease you have.
I cannot. Like, it makes my inside turn upside down and I want to barf. And he's like, I can't even eat in peace. And I'm like, I say this to him every time. You can eat, but you don't need to host a water park in your mouth. Because that's what it sounds like. It's terrible.
A water park.
People are going through slides. They're swimming in the pool. They're sloshing left and right.
I can't. I need to observe the. Like, I guess I don't have misophonia because I don't hear people chew. I don't know what you're talking about.
Like,
I'm not that observant of other people.
We can't chew gum unless my mom is chewing gum. So she announces that she's going to chew a piece of gum, and then we get to chew it because we're all chewing it together so no one can hear each other. And she says, I'm spitting out my gum, and she puts her hand out, and we all just spit out our gum. We can't do it, and it's literally like we'll like get up and walk away from John or my dad while they're eating. It's like pure disgust. It's
you guys
outrage.
Are gonna be one of those old couples who just like doesn't eat together at all. Maybe you can't, and that's
I feel terrible, but something inside of me, that's why I needed to prove that it's a disease. Because I'm not a witch. Like, it just is literally...
It's a fear and a trauma.
Well, it's a fear now because how bad is it going to get?
And it's just chewing? Like, it's not other sounds? Like, if I can't like, rub my nails on something.
Oh, yeah, no, but don't do that.
Yeah, like, that gives me the heebie-jeebies.
Yeah, I can't do... No, certainly not that.
But... I could,
but chip bags. So when you're in chip bags,
by anyone
if someone is going in a chip bag, we were on a plane once, and I literally was like looking at John, and this person was like literally taking off like half a chip at one time, but scrummaging for each one, and I was so close to losing my mind. I couldn't even do it.
I'm a chip bag. I grab the corner and turn it upside down.
Yeah, you have to dump it out. No, they're meant to be eaten.
No, I eat like a horse. We need to eat together at some point.
Dump your chips out.
Have you ever noticed this about me? Be honest. Like, do you
know that you eat loud? No.
Okay.
No.
I'm a messy eater. Like,
maybe it's because we're always in loud restaurants.
Yeah.
Oh, I just like sitting next to John on the couch. I can just like hear it now in my head.
Oh, well.
Terrible.
I wonder if there's like some sort of like physical therapy that he can do.
Like a lobotomy.
And honestly...
For me.
Honestly, maybe. Yeah, one of you. I love how like my default is to like get him to fix his issue, not you.
Yeah, no, I need the issue fixed. But if I've got to fix it, we've all got to fix it. This is a family affair at this point.
No, I'm saying he should train to not chew loudly. And that's on that. The man has
I personally think that you're taught how to chew, and that might be actually incredibly irrational of me. But I think if you all chew loudly in the family, somewhere generationally, you're not chewing right.
Yeah.
You're using different teeth or something.
Ancestors on the chewing.
You're using your tongue weird or something. Something is going on in there that I don't really know about. I don't like it.
Water park in the mouth. I'm dead. Okay.
That's what it sounds like. Okay, so
we don't have any time. It's 6:07.
Well, actually, let's cut this part out. But he said we could go over.
He did?
Yeah, he said we started 15 minutes late, so you have 15 extra minutes.
Okay.
Our
game.
I'll get these little thingies. I brought the ones I actually drew.
All right, guys, we have some really funny All's Fair in Love and War for you. If you need a reminder, this is our game where we decide if we hate or love these things in a relationship, these scenarios. If it's love, we love it. If it's war, it causes war. Yeah, Caroline's grabbing our little signs that we're going to use. Oh, they're new.
No, these are
the ones.
These are the ones that I
the real
fully
ones.
Forgot.
Okay. These are fun. I wrote them in a panic on the way here.
My phone is literally all the way over there, so you're either going to have to hand it to me or you're going to have to read them.
The first one.
Okay.
Oh, well, you wrote this one. Oh, you read it.
This is a listener one.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Oh, listeners, we did that episode 2 days ago. Wow, good job.
No, they sent this in on their own volition. How do you say?
Vengeance.
We need a speech pathologist in here.
We really do.
Okay. You guys sent this one in, and it was love or war if they leave the toilet seat up.
I know this one. Yep. Absolute war.
No, you can't do it.
The number one
Disgusting.
thing I say to Mike 12 times a day, please, honey, with all due respect, please put the toilet seat down. Please. Does it get left up? Without a doubt, every single time? Yes. I'm like, you either have amnesia or hate my guts, because why, like, just remember to put it down.
Have you ever, like, pretty much fallen into it before?
Always.
Yeah. And that's just the worst.
Or just, like, the underside of the toilet, unless you're, like, cleaning it constantly.
It's nasty.
It's gross.
Okay, and I'm the one that has to clean it. This is one thing I like about having sisters. I didn't even have to do the Lord's work on this one. John came home, and it's like, because it's all girls. Ew! Who left the toilet seat up? Oh my God, this is disgusting. John, you get in here right now.
He deserves to be shamed.
Roasted.
They all need a public shaming of it, honestly.
I mean, it's just nasty. I don't want to see what's under there. I really don't. Like, it is gross and people fall in it.
Yeah. No, and just like
Close the whole thing though. Like, you don't need to even leave any part of it up, really.
Or just like, can you not aim? Like, just why does it even need to go up? Just
I mean, they don't have to wipe. So if I have to wipe, you can pick up a tissue and you can wipe where you spilled.
Yeah.
Sorry.
That'd be nice.
It's not too much to ask.
No, I just need them to aim their pee into the toilet. Don't even put the seat up at all. Just aim
Unfair
it.
expectations.
I don't know what it's like to pee with a penis, but oh my God, that reminded me of my favorite movie of all time, The Hot Chick. You think you're so cool because you can pee with your penis.
Yeah.
Well, get a new conditioner. Your split ends totally suck or something. That
Wait,
line.
how do you know all? You know all the
Because I know
lines.
every line to that movie. It's my
Oh
favorite.
my
movie in the
God,
world.
that's so impressive.
Boys are cheats and liars. They're such a big disgrace. They will tell you anything to get to second baseball. He thinks he's gonna score. I won't do the whole thing.
No way.
If you let him go all the way, then you are a whore. To culture studies, flowers, geologist studies, rocks, the only thing a guy wants from you is a place to put his cockroaches, beetles, butterflies, and bugs. All guys really want to do is play with a giant pair of jugglers and acrobats and dancing bears named Chuck. All he really wants to do is forget it. No such luck. That came out of the archives of my brain. I have short memory loss.
Is that like your national anthem?
Yes. They do a hand clap of it. Anna Faris and Rachel McAdams. They're like, boys are cheats and liars. It's the best. Those of you, real ones know.
That's incredible.
That literally, I can't remember short-term things, but I remember things from when I was 12.
Yeah.
So there's that. Okay.
Ready?
Doesn't go out of his way to suck up to your dad. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
You need to be best friends with my dad.
Yeah. I don't care if you even like him. Mm-hmm. Seriously. It's a respect thing.
Mike's so good at that. They're best friends.
Yeah.
And like my dad's a little quieter sometimes. Not all the time, like when you get to know him. But Mike literally like brings the golf clubs down, like books the golfing set, like they go golfing. My dad loves it. He's a real one for that. Cheers to you, Mike. You get a lot of hate on here on this podcast, but at the end of the day, we love you.
Love ya. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that one's definitely worth. That one's just like, seriously.
Yeah.
Like, I think that there is a character problem at that point because you have a difficult time not even just respecting somebody, but like you not doing that makes your partner's life harder and increases the potential of a wedge between your partner and your family. And the person that loses the most in that situation is the person you're dating or married to, not the dad, not like, so just.
Yeah, if you truly love your partner, like suck up to their dad.
Right, like
or mom.
You're punishing them more than anybody if you don't build that relationship. It's not nice. Okay, next one. Doesn't ask your dad for hand in marriage. Sorry, terrible.
I'm traditional too. You got to do it.
John asked my mom first, which I thought was necessary.
Yeah. And it depends on the relationship. If you don't talk to your dad, you don't have a relationship with your dad, I have plenty of friends like that, then obviously he doesn't have to ask.
John asked both my dads and my mom. But he knew that to me it was more important to ask my mom.
Yeah.
But he's traditional. It just like the respect of it was like to ask my dad as well.
Mm-hmm.
I think that it's, again, same character flaw as the one before.
Yeah.
Disrespectful.
Also, please write in, you guys, if your partner asked any of your parents and they said no.
Oh my God. Wait,
write the story. Why did one of yours?
My parents
Said no to John?
No.
Oh.
About, oh my God, I'm getting in
One
so
of your
much trouble.
sisters?
Oh my God, I'm getting in so much trouble.
No, your sisters aren't.
No, I just found this out, and John was like, don't tell Caroline stuff because she's going to blab it.
For the world.
No, but he was saying she's going to blab it to the rest of the family, but now I'm going to blab it to the world. My mom and my dad, not my stepdad, my dad, that her parents said no.
About your dad.
Yeah, and they did it anyways.
I need the full story.
And obviously, they're not married anymore.
Well, parents know best sometimes.
I think if you're not asking,
wild.
it's because you're scared of the answer, and then we need to revisit the whole thing.
Well,
or you're entitled.
I also don't know if other people think it's that important. That's definitely probably the biggest reason, but I also just think I think it's more of a Southern thing. Not that I'm Southern in any means, but it's just such a traditional thing, and it is. Well, and I don't even know why I wrote down dad.
Why would you would you ever do it and not tell them that you were proposing? Because that's just rude.
Yeah, true. They should be asking both parents though, not just the dad.
No, they should be asking both parents for sure. It shouldn't just be the dad. But are you if you're gonna tell them that you're gonna do it, then ask them at the same time.
Yeah.
And if you don't have a good enough relationship with them that you don't already know the answer, and that you can't just say yeah, because it's not really about the dad. It's just saying you parents have raised this human and know them better than anybody else. I want to be a part of their lives forever.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to give you the respect of saying
is that okay with you?
How do you feel about this?
I wonder if some guys though just give a heads up instead of ask.
Maybe, but I think that the ask is meant to be so joyous anyways.
Yeah. My brother-in-law Mike did a lunch with my dad and
but he asked.
Not my mom, because this was after she died. But for my brother-in-law, took each parent individually out for dinner and asked. Yeah.
And asked. I don't know. I just
picture them at a one-on-one lunch, just
that's
talking
so
about
cute.
it.
Maybe it is traditional, but I also just think that if it's meant to be a joyous thing, they are still a parental figure. I hate it when a significant other is treats the parents as their equal in adulthood. Do you treat your parents like that? No.
Sociopath.
So don't treat somebody else's parents like that. They're still parental figures.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm crazy.
Have some respect.
Maybe I'm crazy, but I don't like it.
You're not. Okay.
What's the next one?
Proposes to you in a very public way or place, like a flash mob.
Flash mob is certainly war.
So here's what I'm going to say.
Yeah, it depends on the person.
Well, that's it. I would never do a flash mob for me, and I'll kindly say no in front of everyone. No, I'm kidding. And that's funny because you would think we're on a podcast, we want public things, but and I think it's cute if that's your vibe. I think when it comes to proposals, the person who's doing it puts in so much thought and effort. I'm never gonna yuck that yum.
Yeah,
but I could fucking never do a really public one.
But that's why you make sure that you're marrying the person that's right for you
and that gets you.
And then the other thing is, not that there are men listening to this podcast, but I've had this conversation with my friends. The other thing is that I always say to John's friends, at least, is you have to understand that you spent all this time building up this proposal, and the proposal, even if your significant other knows it's coming, that's the beginning for them. And the culmination for you. Everybody else is in on this surprise and this secret and this experience, and you're excited, you're waiting for it to happen. It's the pinnacle. But then for the person you're proposing to, it's the beginning. So you really need to be conscious that you're doing something that they would love and appreciate.
Yeah.
Because as much as it is your thing to plan, it's their thing to experience and also feel loved in and seen.
When I think it's okay to maybe you don't know as well, which I agree. You should know what that person wants if you're ready to propose for them. You know them as a person by now. But even if like you might be a little wishy, like I change my mind on things 12 times a day. So if Mike never knows what I want, that's why. But so like I forget if we even had this, but I'm saying for couples like that, like with people that change their minds 8 times a day, I think it's okay to have the conversation when you start talking about getting married and marriage and the next steps, and being just like the person asking, like, how would you want to be proposed to? Like, what kind of vibe? And you should tell them, like, I want it to just be us two. I want, you know, vacation would be nice. I don't know. Just it
is on us as well, because you do have to communicate that.
Yeah.
You absolutely cannot expect someone to read your mind.
That's the one, speaking of our last episode plans, that's the one plan Mike planned totally on his own, and it was perfect.
Yeah.
Good job, Mike.
Good job, Mike.
Like, surprised.
He totally did it.
Yeah. Wow. And I always shit on him for his plans.
No, he's
when it matters, he knows. Imagine if the Instagram cake was during the proposal. Okay, last one. Gets out of the Uber before you they get out of the Uber before you and walk away fast and like leave you in the dust. Yeah. And
because one time, John helps me out of every car I've ever gotten in.
What do you mean?
If it's an Uber or a taxi, he gets out and then
wait for him?
No, he always gets out first.
Size.
Yeah, we'll scoot on the same side, or he'll walk around and then put his hand out and help me get down. And he does it for every woman that's in the car as well. Like, helps him. You can ask all my friends. He does it. Like, he will help you.
Okay, but does getting out of the car with every one by one like that take 10 years?
No, it prevents injury, because one time he let somebody else, like, he walked away thinking that all men did this, and I was in really, really tall boots. And so I thought that the guy like put his hand out to help me and his like girlfriend out of the car, and he like didn't. And I like, the step was really high, and then we were also on a curb. And so I like stepped out and my heel like missed the curb, and I fully sprained my ankle. And it was like that for 4 months. So I would argue it saves time.
Yeah, but realistically, in New York, you're pulling up to a curb. The Uber driver wants you out quick.
Yeah, John pulls me out. Like it's faster.
Physically scooting out the same side. Like, you're not getting out on opposite sides.
It's usually the same side in New York because one side is into traffic.
Yeah. I don't know why Mike and I ever get out on opposite sides. Like, who's getting out into... He'll always be like, get out on this side. Like, if I'm on the street side, he'll be like, come out this way.
Let me preface this. Going out. Like, I guess when we're getting in an Uber to go to the airport, he doesn't help me into the car or out of the car.
Yeah.
But when we're going out, like, he's just assuming I'm wearing heels, and he gets out really quickly and puts his hand out, and then it helps pull me out so I don't have to scoot, and so that I don't fall or trip when I get out.
I guess Mike does that too, actually. But a couple times, or like the other night, I got so mad. My birthday dinner. This is about Uber, but anytime you leave me in the dust, sometimes I'm a little slower. I was wearing 12-inch platform shoes. I was taller than a giraffe. I ordered these shoes so I could wear a specific pair of pants. It was my birthday dinner. For some reason, it took me a minute to like get my coat and like get it on. It was 6 of us, friends. They all started walking out of the restaurant like towards the door, and I was still futzing with my coat, getting it on. And I don't know, to call me crazy, I was livid. I was like, it's my fucking birthday.
Wait, no, that is
guys
annoying.
All are walking out, including the friends are fine. Like, I get it. You're like walking out of the crowded restaurant. Mike, get your ass back here. And
Mike should have waited.
He's intentionally doing it. He's dumb. He's so
John does that with me in restaurants all the time. John will finish his drink and just get up to leave, and I'll have half a glass of wine left. I'm like, are you blind?
They don't think though. So it's like,
yeah.
But like, if you leave me in the dust anywhere.
Yeah, don't do it.
Whenever Mike accidentally does it, I'll be like, what if somebody ran by and tried to like rob me and kill me just now? You would be 5 feet away.
Yeah.
Stay behind me at all
Just
times.
wait. I wait for John. When I get out first, I wait for him just to make sure.
Right. And like, walk next to me, you psychopath.
Yeah. Or John helps me down the stairs and stuff. And now his brothers help me because they see John do it. So they just think that that's like how like you do. Like, if they go down any stoop step, they're like, they put their hand out for me or any other woman to like, just like because of heels.
Yeah.
And I think that's nice. But like, he leaves me at tables after he's done with his drink. And I'm like, are you the only person in the world?
Yeah, no.
You just went to dinner alone? Mm-mm. No one else is here with you?
Death to that, honestly, because it's evil.
It
But
just
they don't
is, like,
think. They don't think.
They're not thinking about it.
Okay, well, that's our episode. We're
That's
gonna
our
get
episode.
kicked out of the studio per usual.
Check on me, guys, when this airs, because I just said a lot of stuff on here that I really probably wasn't supposed to say.
Alienated her in-laws.
Wow. And my mom.
Yeah, and your parents.
Yeah.
No more parents.
And my aunt for telling me that information. And John for telling me not to spread that information that I
we love
obviously
you
just
guys,
did.
and we share everything with you, so you're welcome.
Yeah.
Okay. Until next episode is Christmas episode.
Yeah, next episode is Christmas.
So tune in. We're going to talk about splitting up the holidays, how to deal with that, because that, I don't know about you guys, but that is our biggest fight. Just how couples need to deal with compromising over that, or just like honestly not compromising, because women win.
Yeah. Also, with how it low-key gets easier and then worse over time.
Yeah.
Like there's like an easy point and then it gets worse again. It's just like the whole thing is,
we have to unpack it.
yeah, we have to unpack it, but we love you guys. We hope you have a really good Tuesday, and
Until next time.
until next time.